Hello and welcome. I'm Katie, and thank you for joining me today. It's been a while since I posted a video, and I have an update. So I've decided I'm going to change the direction of my channel. So instead of following my author and writing journey, which I am still doing that, but for this channel, I've decided to change it to follow my gardening and beekeeping journey. I feel more passionate and natural talking about plants and bees and nature than I do about writing. So if you've been following me and notice a different name or a different niche than you normally would follow, that's why, because I changed my channel. Today is January 9th, and it is absolutely beautiful outside. It's been sunny all morning, which is, of course, opposite to what my forecast said. It was supposed to be raining. It's almost 13 degrees Celsius or 55 Fahrenheit. Again, it's beautiful out there. However, it is extremely windy. So can't really do much out there anyways right now. But I am getting very antsy and want to be doing some type of gardening. So today what I'm going to do is bring you over to my planting station, and we're going to start some seeds. So I'm going to do onions, leeks, and pansies. And this is going to actually be the first year that I've ever started those seeds and really actually had them in my garden. My mom has always had leeks and onions, and generally I would get stuff like that from her. But I decided I want to try it myself this year. And it takes a while for them to germinate, so why not? I can start them now, and then hopefully they can be a good size when it comes time to planting in the spring. So let's head on over there and get our hands in some soil. Okay, so the seeds I'm going to do, I have for my leeks, I've got giant Musselburgh. Onions, I've got Sweet Spanish Utah, and my pansies are a little pack of, I don't know, heirloom seeds. They're yellow and then white and purple. To start with, I'm just going to put them in these little trays here. I'm going to do half of the onions and then half the leeks in here, and then put some of the pansies in here just to start sprouting. And then once they start growing, I'm going to transplant them into their own pots. This way I'll be able to see which ones actually germinate and look healthiest that I will choose and then transplant them. So we're going to get going. I've pre-wet my soil. It was very dry, so I decided to do that. So I'm just going to put, and it's actually a little bit too, okay, my soil was a little bit too wet, so I just added some more soil in it, just mixing it up. Because when you take it out and you squeeze it, you don't want it to have water dripping out of it. That's going to be too wet. And I just got a bag of seed and cutting soil. Oh yeah, that's better. I don't have to actually fill these all the way to the top anyways, but I definitely have, I'll have enough soil for sure. I'm just going to dump some in here. So I grew up in the country. I mean, I was born in the city, and then when I was 3, my parents moved out to the country. I've got 2 sisters, and we had so much fun and had such adventures growing up out there. We had a hobby farm, 8 acres of property, and we grew up with some animals. We had goats, chickens, ducks, geese, turkeys, and then one year we had pigs, and then another year we had some sheep. And also growing up, my dad had honeybees, which I think must have stirred my passion for honeybees. My parents had huge gardens, so we definitely learned a lot growing up, being in that environment. And it's something that I still love today. So that's actually where my honeybees are, at my parents' property. When I got married, I moved to a town. But we actually have a nice little lot, and at first we did have a giant pool. It took up a lot of space in the backyard, but a couple years after I got married, it ended up needing some repair. It was getting cracks in it, and it was an underground pool with cement, and it would have been really expensive to fix it, so we decided to fill it in. And actually that opened up some nice space. At the edge of our property, the soil was a lot higher, and instead of having to bring in a bunch of soil to level it out, my husband came up with the idea of just making a raised garden bed in that area. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I love that idea, because then I can have more garden space. So yeah, that's what we did, and I'm enjoying it. The only problem that I'm struggling with are squirrels. So this year I've got some poles that I'm going to put up, and then put netting up around it, or some kind of fencing to keep the squirrels out of the one section of the garden, and see how that goes. Time for the seeds. And side note, when I was trying to find my seeds, it took me a while, because take a look at this drawer. It's definitely a mess. I think it needs some organization. So that is going to be another future project that I will be working on. I'm going to start with the leeks because it's open, but I'm going to basically just sprinkle the seeds, and then just kind of mix around the soil a little bit, and maybe I'll put a couple more. And I don't actually need a ton of leeks, but I could always share any extra with my mom if she wants to plant those in her garden. I'd really love to be able to have chickens, but unfortunately our town does not allow that. My parents have some chickens still, so I mean, we do have a source of fresh eggs, at least. I mean, when they're laying. The winter, of course, they've kind of slowed right down, but in spring, we might be able to have some more. Okay, I'm going to just kind of, there's some good contact there. Again, this is just so that it can germinate, and once they start germinating and kind of sprouting up, I will put them into pots. So I'm not too worried about them being too deep. Okay. I'm going to get some plastic wrap to put over top of it as well. These ones are a lot easier to see where they've fallen into the soil. This year I'm trying to plant more flowers in my garden as well. I got some calendula. I want to do nasturtiums. I got zinnias. I will do another video and actually show you my garden beds. Kind of show you the areas of what I'm trying to do and accomplish in them, because I do want to do a medicinal garden bed, which that's going to be in our front yard. And disclaimer alert, I am by no means an expert. So, I mean, if there is a better way or better system of doing this, I am all ears. I'm happy to hear suggestions to improve. So that's for both gardening and beekeeping. I started beekeeping in 2016. So, I mean, I have been doing it for a few years, but again, there's a lot to learn. And I mean, generally experience also kind of teaches you things, but okay. So I got this here to help keep the moisture in, and we are all set. So now I'm just going to put these off to the side, and then I will keep an eye on them for when they start sprouting so I can transplant them. And there we go. We are all set. We have our onions, leeks, and pansies already started. I ordered a shelving unit that's going to be delivered next week, and I just need to get some more growing lights to attach to the shelving unit so that I can have a nice little space for starting my seeds. If you have any suggestions on some good growing lights, or I have heard some people using LED shop lights. So if you have any suggestions of a good brand or type, then please let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if gardening and beekeeping is your thing, you enjoy watching people on their journey as they do that, then feel free to join me with a cup of tea or coffee or whatever your beverage of choice is. And like and subscribe and join me on this journey. Thank you again. Take care, and I'll see you next time.